where were we now? We were on, what is your dog's name? Well, Dale Clark. I've had a few dogs, but you kind of specify the current one, I guess. I have 2 dogs at the moment. One is called Coke. He was named by my kids because he's kind of the color of Coca-Cola. He's got black fur and some like brownie bits. And the other one's name is River, and he's a Labrador. Both of them are rescues and stuff. All right, so that was great. Aaron Brannigan says, do all Satanists realize that they're actually buying into Christian concepts? Well, I'd have to ask all Satanists, to kind of answer that, but I would assume that no, not all of them know that they're buying into Christian concepts. Probably some do. Probably. There's different types of Satanism as well. Some of them are not really that much based on the whole Christian kind of foundation. But, obviously some are. Here in South Africa, we have a bit of a problem with people, blowing Satanism, up, and there's like huge media frenzy about it and stuff. Paranoid people, blaming everything on Satan and stuff. That kind of happens when you have conservative Christian society, I guess. It's seen as the big boogeyman, and it's a problem and so on. So anything that is remotely kind of different from the norm is kind of written down to Satanism. So you get this like satanic panic every now and then. And we have this one guy, a police officer here, Dr. Kobus Jonker, who heads up the occult investigation unit. The police actually have that. And they go around and, of course, they talk to school kids and tell them about how they shouldn't listen to heavy metal and they shouldn't take drugs and they shouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons and so on. But you see, these guys kind of create Satanism in a large way, because when you get teenagers that want to rebel, and you get people that are sick of society, or sick of being told what to do by their parents and their teachers and so on, and they want to become satanic and they rebel against the church and whatever, they go towards the Satanism, this kind of idea that they have of what Satanism is. And it's nonsense, of course, and that is created by the satanic panic. It's created by the church and the police and the parents and everybody who tells people, don't do this and don't do that because it's evil. And that's exactly what they do because they want to rebel. So I think a lot of people are kind of satanic, a lot of, especially teenagers and school kids who don't know any better, who haven't done any research into the various types of Satanism. They just kind of do this weird anti-Christian thing. Anyway, so that's the story. All right, so Tommy Kelly says, what does nothing is true, everything is permitted mean? Well, the idea is that it kind of applies to your reality tunnels and to your belief systems, in that nothing is objectively true, only what you kind of create subjectively, and that everything is permitted, in that you don't really have any kind of structure or framework to build your reality tunnel into. If you're going to do chaos magic and you're going to use belief as a tool, there's no need to base it on kind of the consensus or what you are taught, or what you believe, or what other people believe. You can kind of do anything, really. I think that's the kind of thrust behind it, mainly, is that there is no kind of objective truth. There's no kind of objective reality aside from what we create. I think that's kind of the angle that they're going for with that statement. All right. Tom Kelly also says, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Well, I don't know. I've never seen that happen. It can't happen. I mean, that's just a theoretical kind of question, because in the universe that we live in, there's physics, and things have to, one has to be greater than the other, unless it's just kind of some thought experiment, which I think that statement is. It's just it's kind of a paradox. It's an interesting kind of idea, and when people apply it to God, the idea is that can create can God create a stone so heavy that he can't pick it up? I think it's that kind of thing, you know. It's just a paradox. It's a puzzle. It's a silly kind of game. So no, I won't be able to answer that question because I don't know. I can't say really. I don't think there is anybody that can say. Where Lindsay Leanne Baker says, where is the collective? I don't know what collective you're talking about. What collective you're talking about? I really don't know. Maybe a Google search will help you there, perhaps. Or maybe you know, if you kind of specify a little bit better what collective you're looking for. I don't know. Sorry, I can't help you really. Stan Lebowitsky says, which goddess, god, demon, angel, spirit, egregore, deity, jinn, personal, living, or dead, etc., is the most powerful? Well, power is kind of a relative concept, I guess, unless you're talking physics, you know, but this is not really what we're talking about now. The most powerful, I suppose, you know, power, I think, I tend to define power as the ability to change things, the ability to make change in the world. So the most powerful one at the moment is probably the Christian God, I think. It seems to have the most kind of sway at the moment in the world, kind of politically, religiously, economically. I think that's pretty much the big one at the moment. So yeah, it should probably be the ones that, you know, the three big religions kind of adhere to. I think those are probably the most powerful at the moment. That would be, if not a god, an egregore, definitely. Because the kind of group spirit of those people that subscribe to that religion are definitely the most powerful. Yeah, by a long shot. Are we doing for time there? 7 minutes. Excellent. I'm not sure that's kind of the answer that you wanted. You may have been looking for a more kind of Key of Solomon answer, like about demons and stuff in that way. I don't know. Still, I think, you know, even here in South Africa, and I know a lot of like voodoo and hoodoo people use Christian saints and stuff in their practice, even though it's not necessarily compatible with kind of Western traditional Christianity. They still use those egregores, they still use those spirits because they are powerful, because they have so much influence and there's so much belief, and a lot of people have invested in them. So yeah, I think, yeah. I personally don't use that very much myself in my own practice because I don't like it. I don't like the direction that has headed. I feel that it's a bit too much kind of social control and manipulation for my tastes. I don't think it's a good kind of current to work with. I mean, personally, that's my own opinion, you know. When it comes to other servitors and stuff, I think personally, my own experience, I think my Somisti servitor that I've made, that for me has been the most kind of, I think, most powerful, visceral, tangible, that's the word, tangible kind of encounter I've had with something like that. All right, what else do we have here? Elizabeth Marie Ingham says lol. That's not really a question. I can't answer that, but there we go. I gave you a lol, so if that's what you're asking for, delivered. Ian Walker says, if you suffer with premature ejaculation, would it be wise to draw a sigil on the front of your boxes and carry a box of matches around with you just in case it goes off? No, I don't think so. No, I mean, even though that question was asked in jest, if I were to answer it seriously, no, I don't think so. Sure, I mean, you could use the orgasm still as a gnosis for sigils for charging and stuff like that, certainly, but I don't think, you know, carrying a box of matches and all that, yeah. I mean, you know, if it works for you, go ahead, but no. All right. Manuel Dominic Orantia says, how many licks does it take to get to the center of Babylon? No idea. I can't answer that question. Sorry, I don't know. Felix Silt says, how do you cope with the relentless onslaught of futility and the cold impersonal hostility of the machine? Well, Felix, I believe that people need to create their own kind of subjective value in life. I think we need to extract joy and love and kind of valuable experiences from life. I think we need to do that kind of as hard as possible. We need to do that as much as we can. We need to do it kind of furiously almost, to add value to life, to add kind of subjective value for life, because that's I believe the only place that it comes from. So the machine, well, I just kind of tend to not deal with it as much as possible, which has given me some problems in life. But the cold, relentless onslaught of futility and stuff like that, I just don't pay attention to it. I just don't deal with it. I ignore it. It's not part of my kind of life. I don't care about it. I just whatever. I don't pay attention to that at all. It's not part of my thoughts and my mind and stuff. I just don't do it. What I do focus on is kind of creating joy and valuable experiences and meaning and stuff in life. That's what I do. That's how I go about in the face of kind of existential crisis and possibly the meaninglessness of life and so on. I think a lot of kind of my approach to this problem may have stemmed from my ayahuasca experience that I had last time, where I clearly saw how we go about creating subjective value in our lives and how valuable it is, and how that's all kind of what we do. That's what it's all about. So I've adopted that very kind of I'm very kind of into that at the moment. Cool. Well, thank you, CMG. I'll answer some more questions again. Have a good weekend.